Hey guys, Gerald Swindle, Bassmasters Elite Series angler, standing right here on the shoreline of beautiful Lake Guntersville, where the Bassmasters Classic is fixing to all go down. Someone's life is going to change here in just a few days. The fishing should be pretty good, but let me tell you, it's not the typical Guntersville that I've seen in the past couple of winters. I've seen extremely high water. We've got more muddy water than we've ever had. It's really flushed the lake out in the last 3 weeks. I think the guys, when they get here, are going to have to make some adjustments to what they originally planned for. Maybe they come in pre-fish for. It has really changed up. The eelgrass is going to be pulled loose. A lot of it's floating. The hydrilla and the milfoil will be beat back because of the dirty water and the current, so it could be different. But some patterns to look for: DT6 on the main lake eelgrass. Guys who can find the bright green eelgrass on the main lake, the fish stage up, DT6 is going to be a factor. You're going to see a lot of guys throwing vibrating jigs, chatterbaits, deep running, maybe slow rolling a spinnerbait. If the water were to clear you're going to see a jerkbait come into factor. This lake can be remarkable, but it can be tough. Just like the winter weeks we've had behind us in the rain, it can make this thing really a struggle to fish. So y'all stay tuned. I'm going to run over to the tackle store and just kind of walk through and show you some of the baits that I think the guys will be throwing to win the Bassmasters Classic. All right, I've just come in GTO Tackle. It's right here on the causeway at Guntersville. I'm going to show you some baits that I think you're going to see guys throwing in the Classic. So let's start down here with the Rapala DT6, because I think it's going to be the player. I mean, it played last time. The last Classic was here, was a DT6, kind of really strong performing bait. To me, it was a big part of the win. I don't think you're going to see that change much. We have the Demon colors that's still catching them out here. If we get the water cleared up any, that you could see them swap over maybe on a disco shad or maybe a softer crawl pattern, even to the DT10. If it clears up, we get a pre-spawn, they get off the bank a little bit. The surefire way you're going to catch them, DT series crankbait. It's got the right action, castability, and it's perfect for the grass. I would load up on them if I was fishing, but I'm not. It wouldn't be a fair prediction on Lake Guntersville unless I talked about some type of jerkbait. A lot of jerkbaits that get used here. If this water cleans up, drops out, they get off that bank, they get in that grass, you're going to see all type of jerkbaits play. Shallow runners, deep runners, all different colors. But a jerkbait can win the Bassmasters Classic, I'm telling you. You know, bladed jigs has been a player for the last several years, and it has dominated some performances. I think you can see everything from, you know, the jackhammer, the lighter chatterbaits, all different styles, even with swim baits hooked to them. But a chatterbait's going to play so great in the grass. Guys can really walk it down slow, hop it through there, crawl it. Chatterbait, probably put in the top 3 lures used, and possibly will win the Bassmasters Classic. I can tell you what won't win the Bassmasters Classic. It's the frog. This won't win the Bassmasters Classic unless you're sliding it across the ice. Water's too cold. This is going to be a down under. Let's go look at the spinnerbaits. I feel like in the last 2 or 3 years, you've seen spinnerbaits really trend back up. You've seen just how many people throw them. Let me go show you some spinnerbaits that I would throw if I was in the Classic. Spinnerbaits, spinnerbaits, spinnerbaits. And let me tell you why I feel like a spinnerbait could be a player here and possibly be the bait of the Classic for the win, is versatility. You got 3/4 ounce, you know, you got heavier ones, lighter ones, but you can control the depth. Even up to 1 ounce, you can drop them down in the grass and slow roll them. Water temperature stays low 50s and high 40s. Spinnerbaits, all different variations in colors, will be a player, even down to like a big double Colorado combination. You know, if you see some around here, something that moves a lot of water, that they can reel slower, something with a lot of vibration that they can slow the bait down and just walk it real slow. A lot of the Classic baits will be speed driven, you know, something that they can keep down, work in the grass, be efficient, and cover water and not sit up too slow. Do I think a jig could play? Yeah. Do I pick it to win? Probably not. Just simply because of the water color and the fish are not that grouped up. Unless we see an extremely warm trend, I think you'll see a few fish caught on a jig, but it won't be the player for the win. One of the wintertime favorites, a lot of the locals catch a bunch of big fish down here in this area. And the reason why on single swim baits you see guys throw it more in the Elite Series is because an Alabama rig is not allowed. So you have to throw single hook, single bait. So you can see like a buckeye head, this is a Zoom 5-inch swim bait. Guys can really slow roll them on the bottom, 10 foot, 12 foot around the bridges. This right here could get it all. I mean, it is known to catch big fish on Lake Guntersville. single swim bait, making long casts and keeping it down. This right here, it's the black horse of the race. You better call it, single swim bait. You couldn't come to Guntersville and be fair without saying that everybody's gonna be throwing some type of lipless crankbait. Companies make them, there's so many different brands and everybody has their favorite, but you're gonna see a ton of lipless crankbaits thrown. It's one of the best grass baits on the Tennessee River, 3/4, half ounce, quarter ounce. Get ready to hear some rattling baits hitting the grass. That's my top predictions for the Bassmasters Classic of baits that could win it. And my 2 picks, just in case somebody wants me to throw them out there, Hank Cherry, Scott Canterbury. I said it.